How much is the most you saw like in your account? You're like, what the f?
The most I saw in my account?
Yeah, just
22.
Huh?
22.
Like 22,
M's.
like 22 million?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know for a fact I was clearing 100,000 every day. Now, the day I woke up and I only made like 40,000, I'm like, some shit ain't right. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, 40,000, 40,000, 40,000, 30,000. Hey, we want to book Fetty for 50,000. I'm like, what the?
This is what time?
This is the end of 2017.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, it's happening. I'm like, this will start getting dark.
It's wild how fast everything can fall apart. That was Fetty Wap. He was on fire with hit after hit, living the dream. Fame, cash, and the spotlight were all his. Until things took a sharp left turn. Legal trouble, personal struggles. It all started unraveling quick. So what really happened to the trap star who lit up the charts and then lost it all? Back in 2014, straight out of the gritty streets of Paterson, New Jersey, a local rapper flipped the whole rap scene with a trap anthem about hustling with his ride or die. Trap Queen catapulted Fetty Wap into the stratosphere, hitting number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and later going diamond. That's huge.
I'm sure you get asked about the high all the time, and I don't know if you're tired of talking about it or not.
Cool, bro.
But for those of us who don't know, just quickly tell me like what happened. It was glaucoma, right? When you were
I had glaucoma when I was little. Matter of fact, my mother is here actually. Mom.
Welcome to TMZ, Mom. I'm asking him about his eye right now.
How old was I when I lost my eye? This is the right answer.
6 months old.
I was 6 months when I got glaucoma.
You were born with it, you lost.
Look, now I learned something new. I was born with glaucoma and I lost the eye at 6 months. And I got reconstructive surgery when I was 12. Okay. And I just stopped wearing the prosthesis because I didn't want to look like everybody else.
Okay, that's close. That's what's up, man.
See, that's the truth. I didn't get shot or hit with a firecracker.
And he wasn't stopping there. Fetty made history. He became the first male rapper since Eminem to have 3 bangers in the Billboard Top 20 at the same time. That was legendary. But behind all the glory, Fetty, born Willie Jr. Maxwell II, was fighting serious battles from the jump. When he was just 6 months old, he lost his left eye to congenital glaucoma, a rare condition that caused pressure to build up. That difference made him a target as a kid. Growing up in Paterson wasn't easy, and people kept trying him. One time, he even threw a whole desk at a classmate during a school fight. At 12, he had reconstructive surgery, but by 18, he made a bold choice. He said, "Forget the fake eye," and showed the world his real self. That became part of his whole brand. But don't get it twisted. His journey wasn't as smooth as it looked. Fetty came up with nothing. He was broke, dropped out of school and hit the streets just trying to survive. He didn't even have a real bed. "I was lucky to have a carpet," he told The Guardian, keeping it raw about those struggle nights. He watched his baby sister going through it while their pops was grinding hard. But when Trap Queen took off, it flipped everything. That one track got him signed to 300 Entertainment, and by 2015, Fetty was the hottest name buzzing in the streets. His self-titled debut album shot straight to the top of the Billboard 200 with straight bangers like 679, My Way, and Again. He had the whole hood singing along. The man was racking up awards: Billboard Music Award, iHeart Radio Music Award for Top New Artist, and even 2 Grammy nominations. Fetty was unstoppable. But just when everything was falling into place, disaster hit. On September 26, 2015, he crashed his motorcycle in Paterson while trying to speed past a car. He slammed head-on into another ride and broke his leg in 3 places. He got rushed to the hospital but still kept it real with fans, posting on IG, "I broke my leg in 3 places, but I'll be all right." Then the cops hit him with tickets. No license, no insurance, no registration, just more headaches that come with coming up from the bottom. But even with all that, the money was rolling in heavy. In one interview, Fetty admitted he was stacking cash like crazy at his peak.
Squad. I had a lot of apartments. Like,
why?
I don't fucking
Just for everybody or just for you?
I just really like, I didn't like staying in hotels. Like, I don't like hotels. I don't like people who just could knock on my door when they feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
With all that cash pouring in, Fetty was spending like a king. Cribs in different cities, a lineup of flashy whips, and dropping serious stacks on designer fits for the whole crew. Everywhere he pulled up, Fetty rolled deep. sometimes with 30 people riding with him, all eating good off his success. His monthly bills were sky high, around $150,000, and he was buying luxury jeans for the whole squad like it was light work. At his peak, Fetty was swimming in money, more than most folks will ever touch. When asked about his biggest payout from one gig, he dropped a number so wild it left people speechless. And Dubai, that spot was cutting serious checks. But behind all that flexing, Fetty's personal life was a whole roller coaster. He had 6 kids with 5 different women. Aiden was born in 2011 with Ariel Reese. Then came Xavier in 2015 with Lezai Ziona, Kari in 2016 with Elena Kalisha, Amani also in 2016 with Elena Parker, Lauren in 2017 with Turquoise Miami, and Baby Z in 2018 again with Lezai. His relationships with the moms all over the place. Some said he stepped up and co-parented right, while others stayed deep in the drama, and Fetty's love life just kept making headlines. In 2019, he married model Leandra K. Gonzalez, but that was short-lived. The marriage ended in less than a year, and they didn't have any kids together. Adding more heat to the fire, a leaked tape with Fetty and his ex Alexis Sky dropped in January 2017, pulling even more attention.
What?
The most I saw in my account?
Yeah, just
22. 22.
Like 22,
M's.
like 22 million.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, I spent a lot too. I ain't gonna lie.
Saved a lot of money, bro.
22 million.
Still, Fetty tried to hold it down as a dad. In interviews, he made it clear, being a real parent ain't just about money, it's about showing up. In 2020, Fetty's world got rocked when his brother, Twaishan Deepu, was shot and killed in October. That loss cut deep, and Fetty poured his heart out on Instagram, grieving for his blood. But things only got worse. In June 2021, the unthinkable happened. Fetty's 4-year-old daughter, Lauren Maxwell, passed away. The cause was later confirmed as a fatal heart rhythm issue tied to complications from a congenital heart condition she was born with. Fetty was in Miami when he got the heartbreaking news through FaceTime from Lauren's mother, Turquoise Miami. He later described it as the worst thing he'd ever faced in his life. Even though he was completely shattered, Fetty still showed up to perform at Rolling Loud Miami just days later. He dedicated his whole set to Lauren and posted emotional tributes on social media. Turquoise Miami also spoke out, sharing love for their little girl, calling Lauren an amazing, beautiful, funny, vibrant, loving, talented, smart, and hard-headed princess mermaid Aquarius. The loss hit Fetty like a freight train, and while it nearly broke him, he tried to stay strong by holding on to her memory. On Reddit, fans showed serious love during that dark time. One post read, "It's gotta be super hard to lose a child and then have to show up for a crowd of thousands and try to make them happy." Another said, "Jesus Christ, man, didn't his brother die last year? Stay strong." For Fetty, losing Lauren was a different kind of pain. It hit when his music career was already fading. The Trap Queen wave had crashed, and he was already struggling with personal heartbreak and career setbacks. But sadly, the storm wasn't over. Things were about to get even heavier. By 2017, that shine Fetty Wap once had was starting to fade fast. The same dude who had the whole game on lock was now dropping tracks that just didn't hit the same.
Do you know how Fetty Wap blew $22 million in 1 year? You won't believe me if I tell you that he ended up selling drugs and it got him into prison. When Fetty Wap was on top of his game, he spent a lot of money on his homies and took care of them. The real problem here is that Fetty was sorting out everyone's bills, paying up all their debt, paying their flights, and buying them fresh clothes. Things got worse when Drake wanted to collaborate with him on his hit track, My Way, but he refused because he wanted to put his friend Monty on the song. Because of this, he ended up leaving Drake off his album. Now hear me out for a second. Back in the days, Drake was the biggest thing in music. It's not like the Drake we have today. If Fetty put Drake on that song, he could have been diamond certified by now. The crazy part is that he didn't even put the version with Drake on any streaming platform. Luckily, he still had hits under his belt, but My Way featuring Drake would have been his biggest song. When his money dried up, Fetty Wap went on and started selling drugs, which got him into prison, and he was sentenced for 6 years. Bro spent $22 million a year on his homies, and when the money dried up, they all left him. He definitely regrets mismanaging in his peak.
Songs like Jimmy Choo in 2016 only reached number 65. Wake Up hit number 50, and Kiki in 2018 barely cracked number 43. That magic he had in Iki Ben on Besh, it just wasn't there no more. Fetty noticed a shift when his paycheck started looking real light compared to what he was raking in during his prime. He tried to make a comeback when Wake Up went platinum in 2016, and for a minute it looked like the spark was coming back, but that fire fizzled out quick. According to folks online and industry heads on Reddit, Fetty fell off for a few key reasons. They said he didn't switch up his style while the sound of the game kept moving. His label, 300 Entertainment, caught heat for bad management, and people claimed he missed major chances to stay in the spotlight. Some fans even said his flow got too repetitive, though not everybody agreed on that part. Fetty didn't hold back in a 2021 interview with Fat Joe. He kept it real, saying, "The people I had around me wasn't experienced. Nobody was experienced, honestly." He called it homeboy management, a crew of friends, not pros. Fetty even said he was paying for tour expenses and more out of his own pocket, even with a deal on the table. That financial weight started crushing him. "I kind of got depressed in a sense," he admitted. He stepped away from music for a while, but the bills kept stacking. Then, out of nowhere, his bank accounts got frozen. And just like that, Fetty was stuck in a financial nightmare. When COVID hit in 2020, it shut everything down. And for artists like Fetty, it was brutal. Live shows, his main source of income, dried up overnight. Streams weren't hitting like before, and with no tour money rolling in, Fetty was cornered. In a 2023 interview from Behind Bars, he got real.
Bro, sleeping in the car and I'm watching my baby sister lips turn purple while my father's somewhere trying to make something happen.
Right.
As fans stopped purchasing my music, I turned to the life I once knew. He was talking about going back to the trap. Fetty's legal drama kicked off heavy on October 29, 2021. Feds snatched him up at Citi Field in New York, right before he was supposed to hit the stage at Rolling Loud. The charges? Serious. He was accused of being part of a massive drug trafficking ring, moving over 100 kilos of cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, and crack across Long Island and Jersey between 2019 and 2020. This wasn't no small-time street hustle. Authorities seized $1.5 million in cash, 16 kilos of coke, 2 kilos of heroin, tons of fentanyl pills, straps, and ammo. They claimed the crew was shipping the product from the West Coast using USPS and cars with secret compartments. It was major. And this wasn't Fetty's first run-in with the law either. Back on November 2nd, 2017, he got arrested in Brooklyn for drag racing while drunk, plus a stack of related charges. He ended up taking a plea for reckless endangerment, paid a $500 fine, lost his license for 90 days, and had to take driving classes. But he dodged jail time that round. Then in 2019, he got into it with hotel staff in Vegas and got arrested again, but those charges got tossed. For the drug case, Fetty at first pleaded not guilty and made bail with a $500,000 bond, but that freedom didn't last. By August 2022, the judge pulled it, and Fetty was back behind bars. Ask ChatGPT. Things took a darker turn after prosecutors claimed that during a FaceTime call in 2021, Fetty flashed a burner and threatened to mech someone. That move got him locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, where he was held in protective custody because of his fame. Then, on August 22, 2022, Fetty changed his plea. He admitted guilt to conspiracy to distribute 500 grams or more of cocaine, a federal charge with a mandatory minimum of 5 years. His legal team told the court he only got back in the game because COVID left him broke and he was trying to feed his family. But the judge didn't cut him much slack. On May 24, 2023, U.S. District Judge Joanna Siebert sentenced Fetty to 6 years in federal prison plus 5 years of supervised release. Prosecutors pushed for even more time, saying Fetty used his fame to glorify the drug life. In court, Fetty took full responsibility.
Remember Fetty Wap? The guy who made Trap Queen? Well, he's in prison now, and the story's crazy. According to police reports, Fetty and a crew were moving $2 million worth of product every single week in 2019. But they had no idea police were watching them from the very beginning, and it didn't take long for things to come crashing down, because the feds raided 6 different homes, found tons of evidence, and locked up the entire crew. Well, everyone except Fetty Wap. He was free for another year as police built their case. But in October 2021, Fetty was arrested while on his way to perform at Rolling Loud. without officially being charged and was facing life in prison. Fetty would end up getting out on bail before getting arrested once again in August 2022, where he would stay until he took a deal, pleading guilty to a single federal charge and being sentenced to just 6 years in prison.
Me being selfish in my pride put me in this position today, he said. Apologizing to his community, fans, and family, he told the judge, "I only ever wanted to help my family." The case had 6 total defendants, including Fetty. 4 of his co-defendants, Anthony Lenardi, Robert Lenardi, Brian Sullivan, and Kevon Wiggins, all took plea deals too and were waiting to hear their fates. Anthony, who was a former New Jersey corrections officer moving coke for the crew, got hit with 72 months back in March 2023. Judge Sabert called Fetty's case one of the toughest in her 30-year career. She pointed out the crazy contrast. Here was a guy who had fame, money, and a supportive family, yet still chose to get caught up in serious crime. Fans were torn. Some fell for him, others were disappointed. He had everything people in the struggle dream of, and somehow still ended up back in the trap. A lot of people couldn't wrap their heads around why Fetty would risk everything. On Reddit, one user said, "I never understand these people. Like, you've already made millions from your hits, and you could keep stacking more just by touring and performing the same songs that made you rich in the first place. Instead, you're out here running drugs." Others showed zero sympathy. Another commenter clapped back with, "His lawyer said he sold drugs during the pandemic because shows were canceled. 1, he was already flaking on shows before the pandemic. 2, I'm sorry, I can't feel bad for someone who made millions and couldn't invest it right or stay afloat. 6 years, that's a sweet deal." Over on Twitter, the tone was the same. One user asked, "These rappers make money off music. Why are they still trapping?" And another joked, "Rappers trying not to throw their life away by selling drugs, challenge level equals impossible." Even behind bars, Fetty wasn't letting go of music. In November 2023, he dropped his 3rd studio album, King Zoo, with a feature from Coi Leray. That album showed he was still in it, even from a cell. And in early 2025, his old hit Again started blowing up on Instagram Reels and TikTok, proving fans still had love for him. But being locked up meant he couldn't really ride the wave. Still, Fetty's staying strong. Word from inside is that he's working out, keeping focused, and planning his next music moves. Industry folks like 50 Cent and Coi Leray have been backing him, helping him stay positive through the struggle. As of April 2025, Fetty's still doing time at the Federal Correctional Institution in Sandstone, Minnesota, with a release date locked in for March 13, 2027. In February 2025, Fetty shut down early release rumors with a simple repost on Instagram from his sister, Divinity Maxwell, writing, "He's not out yet." From behind bars, he's finding peace through music and self-reflection. For a guy who once flexed about making $100,000 a day at his peak, life now is a complete 180. Concrete walls, a tight schedule, and limited contact with the outside world. But even locked up, the Zoo Gang leader's showing he's cut from a different cloth. He's keeping his mental solid and finding real perspective on what actually matters. Sitting in that cell at the Federal Correctional Institution in Sandstone, Minnesota, Fetty has stayed connected to fans with occasional music drops and quiet presence on social. His time behind bars has clearly shifted his priorities. He's seeing life through a new lens now, and that growth really shows when he opens up about fatherhood. Even though he's not physically with his kids, he says being emotionally present is what really counts, not just sending cash. That's a lesson he learned the hard way. Fetty shares proud moments that show real love, like when one of his daughters hit him up first to celebrate a milestone. Those are the wins that mean more than any chain or check. He's starting to see the difference between being just a provider dad and a present father, and it's a whole new level of maturity. He's even stepping up his domestic game from behind bars, working on being a better man in every way. The way Fetty talks about parenting now shows he's growing, for real. That mindset shift, pushed by both prison life and the tragic loss of his daughter Lauren, is shaping him into someone stronger through the pain. Fetty seems to be seeing things clearer now, and he's definitely gained a deeper appreciation for everything he once took for granted. Even while locked up, he hasn't let go of the music grind. In November 2023, he dropped his third studio album, King Zoo, proving he's still locked in with his art, even behind bars. That project featured a collab with Coi Leray and showed Fetty's growth as an artist. Before starting his sentence, Fetty released The Butterfly Effect in 2021, a deeply personal album that came after losing his daughter Lauren. The title wasn't just for show. He explained how the butterfly effect, the idea that small moves can create big changes, perfectly captured his journey. He called the album Really Like My Life Story, saying he poured as much of himself as he could into those 17 tracks, while still keeping certain pieces of his life private. But not everything's been love from the music industry. Fetty hasn't been feeling the way his recent work's been treated while he's locked up. He feels like his albums deserve way more recognition and promo than they've received. Breaking it down, he pointed out the gap between his role as an artist and what the label is supposed to be doing for him. That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're not artists, he said, calling out the lack of real understanding from the business side. That take shows how much he's leveled up mentally. It's a big shift from the earlier days when he was trying to do everything himself and ended up taking losses for it. Now, even with all the setbacks, Fetty's standing on his truth. He takes pride in the realness of his newer music, choosing artistic integrity over chasing charts. There's proof Fetty Wap still got that spark. In January 2025, his 2015 hit, Again, made a surprise comeback on Instagram Reels and TikTok, reminding everyone just how strong his music still hits even a decade later. Despite all the setbacks, the man's art continues to connect, showing his legacy ain't fading anytime soon. Throughout his time behind bars, Fetty's kept a real philosophical mindset. He says he's found a strange kind of peace even after losing so much. 2 brothers, his daughter Lauren, and his grandparents. That's a heavy load, but somehow he's managed to stay grounded. The number 1738, a signature in his songs and brand, keeps popping up in his posts, still repping where he came from, with pride and a touch of humor. Even when discussing serious things, Fetty hasn't lost that playful edge. That spark's still there. Then came an Instagram post that had fans shook. I'm on borrowed time. That one line sparked serious speculation. Was he talking about his legal situation, an early release? When asked directly, Fetty kept it mysterious. He wasn't giving up any details. And we keep it moving, was all he said. As of April 2025, he's still serving his time, with his release date set for March 13th, 2027. In February, he shut down more rumors about getting out early, making it clear he's still doing the time. But even from prison, Fetty stays focused. He's working out, planning music moves, and staying sharp. Support from industry heavyweights like 50 Cent and Coi Leray has helped him stay motivated through the storm. Fetty's story is wild, rising fast, falling hard, but never fully fading. What comes next? We'll have to wait and see. If you rocked with this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. And make sure you subscribe for more stories just like this one.